All right, 4:45 this morning, we're getting ready for September the 1st here. We are kicking it off with, once again, fairly quiet weather and not going to be a bad day. Now, it's going to be a little hot, but maybe not as humid. We had some drier air kind of move in yesterday. You might have noticed it yesterday afternoon, and this afternoon, yeah, it'll be hot, but maybe not as brutally humid. Mostly dry today. There's a 10 to 20% chance of a pop-up storm. Tomorrow, 30 to 40%. And then here's your Labor Day weekend forecast into Labor Day. Scattered storms around. And I do think there's going to be breaks in the rain this weekend, but especially during the middle of the afternoon, our storms will have a better chance of popping up, and that could give you some downpours. So just go about your day, but just know there's probably going to be rain around as we go through the upcoming weekend. September the 1st, and it's almost as if the tropics know it. Tropical Depression 5 has now formed in the subtropics. That's the far northern part of the Atlantic. We still have Invest now 94 and Invest 91. So there is quite a bit going on right now, but the only cyclone we have, and remember, a cyclone is a depression, tropical storm, or a hurricane spinning in the far northern Atlantic here, and it is forecast to become our first hurricane of the 2022 hurricane season. Believe it or not, we have not had a hurricane yet. It could become a hurricane sometime later today or tomorrow, and then not really do much. It's going to meander up here and not impact anyone. So by Tuesday of next week, still sitting in the northern Atlantic, potentially as a Category 1, nearly a Cat 2 hurricane. Invest 91, this one will be a little bit closer to the Caribbean islands by the end of the weekend and early next week. This is on the verge of becoming our next tropical storm as well. One up to the north will get Danielle, and if this one becomes a tropical storm, will become Earl, it looks like. It's going to head west-northwest fairly slowly, and by this weekend be here and then start to make its turn up to the north. Some guidance strengthens this some, but it does not look like it's a United States issue either, and then Invest 94 is way out there. Just a reminder, we went all of August without a tropical system. That is very, very rare, but remember, September is the biggest month for hurricane season, and then October is even sometimes busier than August. I know a lot of people, it's hard to believe, but it does happen. Just to remind you, just because you go in August without a hurricane or a tropical system doesn't mean September and October can't be really busy. 1961 was an example of that. One of the only 2 seasons we've never had an August storm, but look at this. We got in September and things went nuts. October was nuts. There was 2 Category 5s. One was in September and one was in October. So we're far from done with hurricane season. Hopefully September is just as quiet as July and August were, but just because you have a quiet August doesn't necessarily mean your hurricane season can't end active. This was also a neutral state, so not an El Nino or La Nina, but somewhere in the middle. Now in 1997, we also went an entire August without a system. It was a really front-end loaded season, and then it was dead towards the end of the season, but this was also an El Nino, and when we're in El Nino, we typically expect quieter season. So we'll see what this year holds, but you know, if the dry air and the dust eventually settle, if the wind shear relaxes, then it would not be surprising if hurricane season picked up. We'll see. Hopefully it continues to trend quiet. There's your 7-day forecast. No tropical impacts for us. We're a little hot and dry today, and then a few more pop-up storms tomorrow before we have some scattered rain around into Labor Day weekend.